Hey, how you doing? Roverspecialist here. We're doing pads and rotors on a 2019 Velar. And everybody always asks, why does it take so long? Why is it whatever? Okay, so here's the originals that are on there. You can see the surface right here. So the pad's supposed to be on the whole surface, so it's only hitting about maybe 80% of the surface. The pads are low. This is what we use to measure. You can see the sensor right here already hitting the rotor, so the light already came on. This is a 4mm feeler gauge. It's already lower, so it's probably 3mm. That's why these need to be changed. We usually tell people at 4mm to change them just before the light comes on. A little more safety, and the calipers go in a little bit more easier because they don't come all the way out where they're not supposed to, and then they have issues with calipers later on. So we do them a little sooner, and then later it probably saves you calipers in the long run, especially for an older car. So here's a car that was put together. Obviously, there's not a speck of grease on it. You can see all the rust where the pads slide on. This is where they slide, top, bottom. A speck of rust on it. Now, during your services, your wheels should have came off, and they should have been looked at, rotated, or whatever. And you can still see not a speck of grease on here, and nothing in the middle either. And if you look at the inner hubs, which they're supposed to clean, nothing there either. You see all the hubs, all the grease dirt. This will leave your wheels wobbling, make your rotors warp if everything's not in smooth. When the rotors come off, if you don't clean everything off and put everything back together nice and dirt free, you will get wobble. You will get premature pad wear. So what we do is when we take them off, this is the surface behind the rotor. We clean all this off and then put a little grease behind them, so later on when they come out, they last. Same thing, you have to grease the pins because this lets the pad slide back and forth. You get more life out of your pads when you do a proper job every time. If you don't, and people just throw everything back together without putting any grease on it, whatever it is, what'll happen is you'll go through pads sooner than later, only because it doesn't relax and take pressure off the pads because it's all rusted. Same thing, little grease up here. It's not too hard. Same thing on the slide. Grease up the slides before you put everything back, so when everything goes back together, it all moves freely like it's supposed to be. And when the wheels come off, you clean the center of the wheels also, so you don't get an imbalance, because if there's a little piece of dirt or rust or whatever in there, you will get a wheel wobble back and forth on that. Follow up for part 2. Front brakes, 2019 Evoque, Rover Specialist.